Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. It has been a busy week. Last weekend, we went to a Halloween costume party, and if you want to stick around to the end of the video, I'll give a little, I'll show you what we dressed up as. Then we trick-or-treated. I worked the last day of October in the antique booth, the first day of November in the antique booth, had a day to work on some projects, and then yesterday spent the day with my friend Jen at the Atlanta Gift Mart, just kind of looking around and seeing what kind of wholesale opportunities there would be. So today is Friday and I am getting this video finished up for you guys so that you guys can be inspired to do some more Christmas DIY gifts and decor ideas. I have a fun, exciting announcement and I will save that for the end. But for right now, let's get started. So for my first project, I have been on the lookout for something big enough for the first page of the Christmas Valley transfer. And I found this cutting board for $4 at the thrift store at Goodwill. It was pretty heavy and it was perfect for this first page right here. Now, when I look for cutting boards, I really like these that have kind of a frame built out around it. I think they turn into such nice projects. So I washed it up and I'm realizing that I am going to need to cut off just a little bit of the words, but I'm going to use DIY Prairie Gray, a nice fall Christmassy neutral, to go around the back and the sides. I did 2 coats of this and I did slight distressing, but not very much. So I did 2 coats of this paint and then I went over that with DIY's Big Top so that it could be sealed and wouldn't distress anymore. And one of the main reasons I did it in this order is so that when I did the white in the center portion, I wouldn't have to be as neat, because if I got it on the part that was already sealed, I could just wipe it off with the wet rag and that would work. Next, I use DIY's bead board. I'm using this white until it is all up, and then I'm going to move on to a different white to give that a try. So at first I was going to try this dry brush look. This had been used as a cutting board, so I wanted to kind of give it more coverage, because you could see some of like the oily spots that didn't quite that needed to be covered up. So I ended up going on a little thicker here, and then I went back over with a wet rag to distress it a little bit. At first I was going to go through it with the Prairie Gray to kind of give it that weathered look, but then I decided, you know what, the wood kind of peeking through was what I was going for. So you can see I'm being kind of messy with the white paint over there on the edges, but that has been sealed. The beauty of it is I just take a nice clean wet rag for that and wipe that down, and the edges are nice and smooth. I was trying to multitask with this, so I wasn't being super careful, but that's the beauty of it already being sealed. You can just use a wet rag like I am right here to clean up those lines. After cleaning up the lines, I do use the wet rag to kind of distress this white area. I'm going to put the transfer over it, and I kind of want it to look like an old sign. So I'm distressing the white back. I do end up covering it, the white, with Big Top. You always want to seal the DIY paint before you put your transfer on, and make sure that the sealer is very, very dry before you start your transfer. Now with this one, I had a couple spots on this, and I'm assuming it is the oil underneath, where when I put the transfer on, it did not want to stick. That is the downside of using a found item that was probably used in the kitchen. This would have been just raw wood. It would have been totally fine. But I made it work and ended up really liking how it looked. I did, once the transfer was on, I did cover it with the spray sealer. I feel like this was an easy way, since some of the pieces were kind of pulling up because of the oily cutting board. I felt like a spray sealer was the way to seal it all in. And since this is used as decor, I think it's going to be fine. I wouldn't leave it this way on a tabletop by any means, but because this is decor, I feel like that really turned out well. So this was the spot where the transfer didn't quite want to stick. So, I mean, this was just my, I used my top coat right here, just sprayed it on, and then put the eye right back down so that it was kind of like a glue. And then I took the whole thing outside, sprayed it with polyacrylic on the top just so that none of these would move again, and then went over it with 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm happy with how it turned out. This next one I could not pass up at the thrift store. $3.09 for a sled basket. Very, very bright red. I'm sure some of you would have just totally left this as is, but I had to hit it twice with white spray paint. I found that with baskets, spray paint is absolutely the best. I like to make sure I go back with some sandpaper. This red is already peeking through, so let's just go with it. And the baskets can handle like a heavier grit sandpaper so that the red can kind of peek through. And I mean, what an easy transformation. So my next couple projects are inspired by my friend Kristen. She is in Sonnet from Sonnet's Garden Blooms creative network group with me, and Sonnet's been inspired by Kristen many times before too. Guys, if you want to see someone just be creative and tell the most wonderful stories about the creations, go check out Kristen at Simply Joy Creations by Kristen over on Facebook. She had this great idea to get these little trees from Hobby Lobby. These are the 3 types that I got. Just a normal one that had like almost like a sugared look to it, and then one that was flocked like this. I paid $2.50 for these, and then I got, I think, 2 of these for $1 a piece at the thrift store. Always pick them up. So in this one, I found these little mugs at the thrift store for $1 a piece, and I was like, these are perfect. The fun idea about these little trees in mugs is that you can bring them for like hostess gifts, or if someone is in an apartment or a nursing home and they can't have a full-size tree, that this is a cute little way to kind of decorate for Christmas. And Kristen came up with this idea in our group, and we all just love it. And I know Sonnet did a video too, but I just wanted to kind of do my version with some of the stuff that I found from the thrift store. So I actually hot glued these, not crazy amount of hot glue. If someone wanted to pull these apart, they totally could. I just didn't want someone to buy this and head up to the counter and then it all fall out. So I hot glued the burlap in the bottom, and then after I pushed that down, I did put a piece of hot glue under this tree just so it all kind of be a solid piece when they went up to the counter. Sticking with the little Christmas tree theme, I found two more vessels. This one is just a mug that had black and grayish and cream for $1.39. And then I found this little reindeer thing with burlap on the inside and thought these would look good. This was $1 with little trees inside too. So I found some cute little pine cone and the greenery from the same Christmas Valley transfer. Just put this on the side, went through it with the stick that comes with the kit, and then I make sure I turn this plastic piece over at the end and burnish it. Now, a lot of people ask if I seal over the top of this, and since this is a shiny mug, I did not seal this one. I figured it would not be getting a super lot of use since it is used for decor and it's on the side right here. But if it is something that is on a tabletop, for sure. Now this one, I really didn't have to do very much to it except get the tree up a little bit. So what I did is I went to the basement, got some scrap wood, just kind of glued some wood in there so it would stick up where I wanted, put the burlap over top of it, and as simple as that, you can kind of control where you want the tree to stick out. Now, Kristen is always watching these videos, so if you love these last two projects inspired by Kristen, make sure you give her some love in the comments. She is an amazing woman, and don't forget to check her out on her Facebook page. This last project is also a tree. I believe that this was originally sold at Michael's for around $14, but I got it at the thrift store for $2.99. Decided this is not the look I was going for, so I yanked everything that they had already done off. And in last week's video, I did use some burlap and lace in some of my Christmas decor, so I wanted to do this one in a similar way. So that I can put these things in my booth and they all kind of go together. So originally I tried wrapping this burlap ribbon and then realized it's too wide to lay flat. So then I cut it down. I hot glue it in the back. I get the lace on it. And then because it looks so messy in the back, I decided to get a big piece of felt so that the back was nice and finished. And I'm just going to let you listen to some more music and watch this one and let me know, do you guys like this burlap and lace Christmas tree? All right, so what did you guys think? Were you inspired to create your own hostess gift by Kristen like I was? Don't forget to check out her Facebook page. I'll put that in the description box below. So, costume party. Guys, I'm totally comfortable with being a content creator over here on YouTube. But for Halloween, I went as an influencer, which that is a totally uncomfortable title. So I kind of was making fun of myself a little bit. I did a DIY project where I made my own YouTube award. You guys, we don't get these awards until we get to 100,000 subscribers. So I just was making fun of myself, and then I got a fun hat and did like a little trendy tattoo on my arm and a fake nose ring, and I totally had a good time with it. My husband is obsessed with Lego, and I'm surprised it took him this long to get this costume, but he finally has this costume that he can include in his Lego room. We had a fun time, and my back is feeling so much better, as you can see by my dance moves. Anyway, so that was a fun little break from all the crazy things going on right now. My fun announcement is I am adding a second booth at the same location, and it is bigger than the first. Listen, my current booth is an 8 in the back, no, a 10 by 8. So the back wall is 10 feet and it's 8 feet deep. It is my first upgrade in the store. I started with a 5 by 8, really quickly realized I needed a bigger booth. And then when I got my DIY paint line, that has taken up a large portion of this booth that I have in the front of the store, but I'm not willing to give it up because a lot of customers have been coming for the paint there. I love the location. It feels cozy, but I wanted some more space. So this new booth is all the way in the very back right of the store, but it is 10 feet on the back by 12 feet deep. And my main reason for that, guys, is I need to get some of these projects out of my home. I have a round table that I have been finished with since July, and it's in my foyer. So it's time to get my life together. I need to get my life together. I need the cozy back in my home. So I'm getting this booth starting this Sunday, which for November, which is one of the busiest months in the booth world. Yes, let's please have 2 booths. My brother's helping me and my husband's helping me move a bunch of stuff in on Sunday. And I am very excited. At first when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, my minimum is 2. I have 2 months that I have to be in this location and I can pull out. And then I was like, wait a second, why am I already setting myself up to fail or setting myself up with an exit strategy? I mean, realistically, I just needed to know what was the worst that could happen. But guys, as I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of betting on myself. I'm betting every time I've gotten bigger space, I've made more money, I've done better. And you know what? After I told the owners that I would take it, my creativity has kind of like, I'm just like decorating the space in my head and thinking about all the things I could do. So I'm super excited about that. Although, you know what? I should probably finish this up so I can get started and get ready for the move this weekend. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, I would love if you would give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite project was. If you think I'm crazy or you're excited for me about the new booth. And if you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel. I am almost at 9,500 subscribers. Guys, that's a lot of you. And if I really think about it, like I'd start to get like all panicky because it's a lot of people. But my goal was to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. It is looking like I'm turning in that direction. And so I don't give myself a little panic attack. I am just going to imagine like I'm talking to each one of you like you're my friend, because that is how I feel. Guys, I am honored that you guys are here. I know there's a lot of content creators out there, and guys, I am just honored that you guys are along on my journey. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Ooh.
What's the matter? What's the matter? You can't sit down?